the important point here for patients is that this testing is really critical because, the way we practice in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, in which we told patients, hey, you have a big tumor, it's going to be terrible, or hey, you have a tiny tumor, you're definitely going to be fine. Those are really outdated ways of practicing medicine these days. The idea here is that we have, very personalized genetic medicine here where every patient's treatment is really tailored to them based on the true molecular genetics and their own personal tumor. So this is kind of a nice example of that. So this is a patient of mine who's a 63-year-old gentleman who came to me about almost 5 years ago with a large uveal melanoma that would be considered very aggressive based on traditional staging methods based only on size. We did the biopsy of his tumor, and it came back actually with amazingly very low risk genetics. So class one, PREEM negative. And as we just talked about, those are our markers for low risk for metastatic susceptibility. So everything in this patient's testing points to the concept that his disease is ironically not that aggressive, even though it grew to quite a large size in the eye. And so here we are nearly 5 years later, and this photo on the left is actually what his eye looks like now. Now we have a full view of his optic nerve and his macula. His tumor regressed from covering the entire center of his fundus to kind of regressing to the infranasal corner here. He's alive and well. His vision actually improved after the treatment, which is very unusual with a tumor this large. And he's doing great and feeling very good about his prognosis and his long-term outlook. So this is the situation where, we can kind of illustrate here that, the devil's really in the details of the genetics for these patients, not so much, in the size of the tumor. And so, as I mentioned earlier, there are outliers on both ends of the spectrum.